What's going on, YouTube? This is the SG1 Sports SEC Football channel, and we continue to give you the top 10 players on every SEC team. Today it's Missouri, the Missouri team that had a pretty good year last year. I know they didn't end it the way they wanted to, but overall it was a solid season. Remember, had that win over Florida, and they have a very favorable schedule for 2019. But the bowl ban is not a good thing if you're a Missouri fan. You don't get to go to a bowl game. Could have potentially been a special year, maybe. They do have some talented players back, and we are going to give you the top 10, or at least my top 10. I'd like to know your thoughts, of course, especially from the Missouri fans. At number 10, we're going with Tre'Vour Wallace-Simms. He was all SEC first team on that offensive line last year. He is back this season, the most experienced offensive lineman on the team, the best offensive lineman on the team. He's going to have to be a leader for them there. They had a pretty good run game last year, and this offensive line was pretty good, but they lost some players there, and then obviously protecting Bryant is going to be a big key for Missouri. But I think he's their best offensive lineman, and I've got him at number 10. At number 9, we go to Tyree Gillespie. Last season, he had 48 tackles, also had a sack in there as well. Didn't really do a lot as far as defending passes or getting interceptions or anything like that. So I think we could maybe see his numbers go up in 2019. Yes, the tackles are pretty good. 48 tackles in a season is pretty solid for a defensive back, but maybe he can turn into a little bit more of a playmaker. And I think the secondary is going to be the strength of this Missouri defense. They bring back a lot of guys there, and I think he will be one of the top guys in that secondary. At number 8, we stay in the secondary. We're going to go to Christian Holmes. Last season, he had 36 tackles, had 2 interceptions, so you're seeing the playmaking ability there, and also 12 passes defended, pass breakups, whatever you want to call them. That, I don't know if I've seen anyone since I've been doing these videos that had 12. So you throw his way, there's a very good chance he is going to break up the pass. Very, very solid number there. And I have him at number 8. Again, secondary is the strength, in my opinion, of this Missouri defense. But now we're going to go to the defensive line. And how about Jordan Elliott? Last season, he had 24 tackles. Not a ton of tackles, but 8 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, had a forced fumble. He was a disruptor, good at just eating up those blocks. Again, you're not going to see some of the big defensive tackles get a lot of tackles because it's not always their job. But still, to get in the backfield, 8 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, that is solid. And I think he's probably going to be their leader on this defensive line in 2019. Albert Okwuegbunam is next, a tight end for Missouri. And I hope I said his name right. I was practicing that. I had to look it up because this is worse than Tagovailoa, honestly. But anyways, he's maybe the best tight end in college football heading into 2019. 43 catches last season, 466 yards, 6 touchdowns, and he's probably going to be their number 1 or number 2 target in the pass game. It will be between him and our number 5 player. Our number 5 player is wide receiver Johnathon Johnson, a big-time playmaker for this team. He had 59 catches last season. He's probably going to be their leading receiver. 737 yards, 5 touchdowns. His numbers may actually go down because of Bryant. They're not going to be throwing it as much. You've got to add in Bryant's running, plus Rountree is back at running back. So I think they're going to run the football maybe a little bit more. But Johnson is, to me, the go-to guy, and I think he could have a big season and really just a big play threat for this offense. So watch for him to maybe be an all-SEC type wide receiver. At number 4, we've got Cale Garrett. He led the team in tackles last season, had 106 tackles. Very impressive to go over the century mark there in tackles. 6 tackles for loss, had a sack as well. Really, I think he's going to be the leader for this defense in 2019. Probably I wouldn't say he's their best player on defense because we do still have one more, but he's going to be one of their better players on defense, probably their best linebacker, and I think he's going to be a very, very key component to this Missouri defense. At number 3, we go to Rountree III. Last season, he really broke out. DeMarkus Crockett was, in my opinion, going to be the number 1 guy going into the season, but Rountree really took that over 1,200 yards rushing, 5.4 yards per carry, a pretty solid number there. Had 11 touchdowns, and he was kind of possibly their best player on offense last year. I don't know if I would go that far. I think some Missouri fans would probably say that. Of course, they had Drew Lock last season, but he had a phenomenal year, and I've got him at number 3. But I think Cale Bryant is actually going to be their best player on offense. We go back to 2017 to find stats for him. Of course, at Clemson, he threw for over 2,800 yards, 665 rushing yards, 24 total touchdowns. And again, we know what he was able to do as a leader, as a competitor. You bring him to this Missouri team, and I think he will be a leader for this offense as well. If he can be consistent as a passer, this Missouri offense becomes one of the top offenses in the country. We know what he can do on the ground, but that's going to be the key, I think, is Cale Bryant's passing ability. But number 1, it's DeMarkus Acy. I think he's their best player, a very, very solid cornerback. 30 tackles on the season last year, had 3 interceptions, also broke up 10 passes. And, you know, it's tough for me. This Missouri one was hard. I think I got the best 10 players. I feel confident that I got the best 10 players, but I don't know if I got them necessarily in the correct order. That's the thing that I struggle with here with Missouri. So I'd like to get your thoughts, especially if you're a Missouri fan. Let me know down in the comments below if you'd make any changes. We're going to finish this thing up with a few more teams here in the SEC East. I thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports SEC Football Channel.